I made a survival game with 1 pixel. And guess what? You're looking at it right now. I know what you're thinking. That's just a black screen. But in the very center, there's a tiny point turning just the right colors and flashing just the right way for there to be just enough information to display a game. Unless YouTube compression has removed that pixel, in which case you are looking at a black screen. But if we zoom in, there we go, you can now see the colors in the flashing, but you can't really see the game. By the end of this video, you will see the game, and you will know the only way to escape a hungry bear is by eating blueberries and drinking fresh water as fast as possible. Why? I'll tell you why. I've seen other people's videos about making restricted games, and I like those videos. And perhaps more importantly, I like the views on those videos. But beyond that, there's the curiosity and sense of discovery in the challenge. How could it be done? Can it be done? When you have only 1 pixel, you can't really do much. Go ahead, try and scale down your 4K Master Chief. Immersive. The only options you do have are color, and color changing over time. Well, technically you do have audio as well, but relying on that would be cheap, and definitely not something I considered myself. So, it's my goal to make the game playable without audio. We're going to be using Unity for this project because, number 1, I have experience with Unity. Number 2, I don't really have experience with much else. My first idea is for a top-down game, with the blocky gradient representing the terrain, hills with food and valleys with water. Look at that. Practically feels like we're in the great outdoors already. But that's not what the players will see. They can only see 1 color at a time with their single pixel, so they need to observe how the color changes to navigate. This may seem like a terrible FOV to PC players, but being a console player myself, I feel right at home. Because there's no room for UI, we can't have a hunger or thirst bar, so the goal will be simply to alternate, drink, eat. I'm using Unity's color system and Perlin to try and make a randomly generated world to play in. I was confident that with my prior experience using Perlin, I could solve any issue. But after a while of struggling with it, I noticed it felt familiar, and I remembered my prior experience was also me struggling with it. So, things aren't looking good. Getting the right amount of water to generate is hard, and no matter the amount, there's always ditches that are just high enough not to have water in them. The entire point of the game is trusting the gradient to lead you. And this is a lie! How could you, gradient? And I haven't even decided whether the randomly generated map will be infinite or have boundaries. A small map would reward memorization skill, while an infinite map would, well, I don't really have a great reason for an infinite map, I guess. At this point, I'm having a major rethinking of the game. What if I have the map be limited by making it take place on an island? Now there's a realistic boundary, and it makes sense that you can't drink the salt water to survive. Now to make a island. Yeah, thinking about it, trying to make the map randomly generated was completely unnecessary and complicated, especially for a prototype. So, I'll just do it myself. And I have. The game is playable, and after trying it out, I have to say, it's garbage. You just stumble around blind until you hit the objective. That's not what a game is. So, back to the drawing board. Way back. I could have to scrap this whole thing. After thinking, the map must be much smaller to have any chance of memorizing it. But now that it's small, it's too easy to find sustenance. So the map has to change slightly in predictable ways. There's only one obvious solution. A bear. But not just any bear. A bear so sleepy and fat that his slow waddling towards you is easily predictable. The bear tile moves 1 tile every time you eat or drink, and if you go to where the bear is, you lose. That, along with the food now dropping randomly around a tree, will keep the game interesting. And by interesting, I mean broken and unplayable. Because upon testing it, I have found that the bear will move onto the objective and prevent any way to advance. Because touching the objective is when the bear moves. The bear's slowness is now his greatest strength, and his power is too great for the game to handle. The only way to overcome this beast would be to allow him to move in real time, but his might could still be too great, for he could be nigh unpredictable. But I have an idea. If the bear darkens all the tiles around him, the player will be warned about the risk they're in, and the realistic explanation is that's just the bear's shadow. I know shadows don't actually surround objects, but this is a video game. You think doctors are studying Skyrim to find out how to cure wounds with cheese wheels? The game's starting to be kind of fun with the whole map visible. And to help the single color view, I did a black flicker when the bear moves, and a fade to red when the player dies. Oh, by the way, the salt water kills you. The reason? Guess you can't swim? It's time to test its final form, and I've made a black 1 pixel cutout to restrict the screen. Is it any good? Well, some of the colors are confusing at such a small scale, so we no longer have apples, we now have, blueberries? I also beefed up a lot of the colors, and added a white flicker after death, to show you how many points you got, 1 from each time you drank or ate. And yes, I would say it's pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't charge $60, but maybe $50? $100 for the deluxe edition? I feel that I've accomplished what I set out to do, but I'm not done yet. It's time to beef it up with audio and add some final polish. Try to keep calm. It is now time for the final reveal, and you can play this without any downloads completely free at the itch.io link in the description. You have a debilitating neck issue that keeps your head facing down so that you're only able to see the ground beneath your feet. Fortunately, a chiropractor is only a boat ride away. Unfortunately, a fat and sleepy bear wandered onto your boat before you left, and now you and the bear have shipwrecked onto a small island with only a blueberry bush and a small pool of fresh water. Survive by drinking and eating, but most importantly by avoiding the bear. Can you do this while only seeing the color of the ground beneath your feet? What do you think? With an explanation like that, the game's practically 100% realistic. And with all that said and done, let us look back now on that clip from the beginning of this video. Can you see the game now?